Alright, so we got the full summary for 1088, and there is so much more going on in this chapter than what we were able to talk about yesterday, so let's just get right into it. So the chapter starts with a flashback in the old Marine Fort. Garp is teaching a class for new Marines, and Kobe is in the class too. It's his first lesson. He has the same appearance as in East Blue Art, and Garp asks a question to all the new Marines. He says, if one baby and one old man get stranded on an island, and you have a boat that can hold only 2 people, who would you save? Kobe says, I would get down from the boat myself so both of them can live. And Garp throws chalk at Kobe. You're wrong. The old man doesn't have much time left anyway, so you just let him die. Why did you all become Marines? Isn't it to protect the people's futures? Then you and the baby have more future than the old man. Only you and the baby must live on. So yeah, obviously Kobe is going to respond that way. I guess this is just Oda further showing us the unrequited altruism of Kobe, as if we didn't already know. After the lesson, Garp is scolded by a Marine instructor, and he asks Garp to never teach such things again, since all the people's lives are equal, and Garp disagrees. Then we cut to another flashback at Amazon Lily. After Boa Hancock's incident some days ago, Blackbeard agrees to leave Amazon Lily. However, he's taking 800 Marines and a battleship with him. Vice Admiral Yamakaji only stands and watches, since Marine HQ didn't give him permission to fight a Yonko. However, Kobe steps up and offers Blackbeard to take him as a prisoner instead of his men. Vice Admiral Yamakaji allows him to do it since Kobe is a sword member. So Blackbeard gave up a battleship with 800 Marines in exchange for Kobe? He kind of got the raw end of the deal there, but I guess he felt Kobe was somehow worth more than that. I don't know. I mean, I know that it had to progress the plot to where it is now, but still, just take both, if anything. But this is also filling in the loose end, I guess, and the connective tissue between what happened at Amazon Lily and bridging us to where we are in Hachinosu right now. Back to the present, everyone on Garp's battleship is panicking. They shoot at the giant hand but cannot stop it. So yeah, at the end of the previous chapter, we saw that Pizarro, using his island fruit, was able to like manifest this gigantic hand coming out of the island. He was going to smash the ship filled with sword members and other escapees from the island that was trying to get away. And that's where like the cliffhanger was. Kobe says, if that hand comes down, hundreds of lives will be lost. What should we do, Vice Admiral Garp? And Garp says, if it's the 3 of you, then they can be saved. Then Garp gives orders to each one of them. Garp will create an opening for them. Kobe must destroy the giant hand. Gruz must protect the battleship from debris, and Helmeppo must cover Kobe and Gruz. Kobe is shocked, and he says, I can't destroy something that big. Then Garp cuts him off, and he's like, in battle, decisions must be made in a sudden. Then all 3 of them immediately move to Garp's orders, and pirates are laughing, thinking that Kobe, Helmeppo, and Gruz can't do anything without Garp. Gruz asks Kobe why Garp entrusted him with destroying the giant hand. He wonders if Kobe has a bomb or something like that to destroy it. Kobe replies that he doesn't have any kind of weapon, and then he'll just try to do something. Pirates shoot at them, and Helmeppo blocks a bullet with his sword and gets caught up in an explosion. Garp stands up and faces Kuzan. He punches Kuzan to the ground, moving so fast that Kuzan is surprised. Then Garp jumps on the roof towards the skull and attacks it. So yeah, Garp still in the battle here. Despite getting stabbed through his abdomen and getting knocked around a couple times, he's still so powerful that he can just blitz Kuzan here, just jump up right towards the skull that Pizarro is inhabiting. And he hits it with a galaxy divide. And this like hurts Pizarro here. Garp uses a massive attack that splits the skull in 2, making Pizarro's real body heavily injured with blood coming out of his head. Gruz and Kobe follow Garp. So yeah, I guess this is how you defeat Pizarro. I was wondering if it was like similar to Pika, but I guess it's less of like you having to find his original body the way that it was with Pika. And I think like since he becomes the island itself, if you hurt the island, you're hurting him as well. Kobe then jumps into the air facing Pizarro's giant hand, and Pizarro is in pain, but he can still move. So he swings his hand down to crush Garp's battleship in revenge. Then another flashback starts, back to the time when Kobe and Helmeppo first joined the Marines. We see Garp and Helmeppo talking in the training field that we saw in the cover story. Garp noticed that Kobe manages to improve very fast, but he has an abnormal amount of injuries on his hands and shoulders. Helmeppo says that Kobe doesn't want him to tell anyone, but the fact is that Kobe knows he has less fighting skills than a normal person, so to make up for it, he needs to train between 100 to 200 times harder than other people. Helmeppo says to that Kobe has been training in secret every night by punching Garp's battleship bag. So I guess this is Oda's explanation of Kobe's explosive growth. Kobe's like having his own MC journey here because, you know, there was like that drastic change in Kobe, you know, between East Blue and us re-meeting him again after Eni's lobby. And he had gone through like this crazy puberty growth spurt where his entire character changed aesthetically and on the power scale. And then after time skip, he just had such a drastic jump in power similar to Luffy. So this is how he did it, guys. He's just training 200 times harder than everybody else. Training at night in secret, and of course punching Garp's battleship bag, which is supposed to parallel to Garp's own training as well as what he was doing with Kuzan. Cut to the present, and Garp is smiling while he remembers that training. All the pirates are laughing at Kobe, saying there's no way that he can stop the giant hand. And the pirates say the hero title must have gotten into his head. Kobe's about to attack the giant hand. Kobe says, if I can't do this, everyone will die because of me. And he uses his attack Honesty Impact, which we talked about yesterday. Kobe punches and destroys the entire giant arm in an epic double spread. We can see black lightning from the impact. We see that Pizarro is screaming in pain as his real arm is breaking. So wow, it actually happened. We were speculating about this yesterday, but it turns out that Kobe's Honesty Impact attack, yeah, I know, great name, was powerful enough to destroy Pizarro's arm, which is like, I'm pretty sure bigger or just as big as Pika maybe from Dressrosa. It's up there in size, or at least it looks that way. So not only is Kobe strong enough to do that, but of course we have to address the black lightning here, which means that Kobe has Conqueror's Haki. He's like the shadow MC at this point, so give it to Kobe. He has Conqueror's Haki. I mean, he's gonna need it, right? Because like I said before, he's probably gonna be Admiral level by the end of this series here. So I'm not mad at it. I'm sure Oda has big plans for Kobe at this point, and he's gonna need Conqueror's Haki to do what he's ultimately going to do. I mean, I do see him becoming an admiral at the end of the series, at least rank wise, but now it looks like he's going to achieve it on the power scale as well. Garp is laughing in tears while both Helmeppo and Gruz are shocked. Gruz uses a technique called Clay Whip to create a giant clay net to stop the falling stones and to save Garp's battleship. Kobe, Helmeppo, and Gruz end up safely on the battleship. Garp calls to everyone on the battleship with a Denden Mushi, and he says, all of you, full speed ahead and sail away from Hachinosu right now. I will find a way to survive on my own. Our mission is already completed, and your safety is the most important thing. Kobe cries and tells the ship to head back, but Gru stops him. He's in tears too. Garp continues, all of you are the future of the Marines. And in the last double spread, Garp is lying on the ground with an ice blade stabbed on his chest. He's surrounded by all the Blackbeard pirates and Kuzan. Garp is still laughing as ice is spreading from his wound. We see Kuzan's face, but his eyes are hidden, making his expression unknown. And the narrator says in the next day's newspaper, the news that are reported to the world are, the young hero Kobe returned safely. The legendary hero Garp disappeared at Hachinosu. And Yonko Straw Hat Luffy is taking Egghead Island as his stronghold. In the final page of the chapter, we see that the Marine ships are arriving at Egghead. So yeah, we talked about this yesterday, and I guess most of us are in agreement that Garp isn't dead here, simply because of what's going on with this ending sequence. Because, you know, also the whole thing about Kuzan very likely being undercover here with Sora himself. Don't think he's trying to kill Garp, and this was like his best out. And I'm pretty sure none of us have seen the panels yet, but I'm curious to see where he's stabbing him with the ice blade, because he could just be putting it in the existing wound that Shiryu made, and then him just sealing that up with ice is, you know, stopping it from bleeding, of course, but then him freezing him over is definitely a parallel to Saul, who we found out survived because of Kuzan's plan, his ice time capsule. So I guess that's happening with Garp here. Kuzan gets to have his cake and eat it. He gets to prove himself to the Blackbeard pirates, and he also doesn't have to kill Garp. And then as for what's happening in the very end here with Luffy taking Egghead Island as a stronghold, I'm pretty sure that's what Morgan's was going to make the title of the headline anyway, once he found out what was happening with them there. So I don't know if that necessarily like is Oda telling us that, yeah, Luffy just ran house at Egghead while, you know, we were away from him and he's just taking it over. And as for the Marines arriving at Egghead, we saw that there was a whole fleet headed there. So now they're there, and I assume this means that we're returning to Egghead now. We've been away for quite a while, so it's going to be nice to come back, but it was a much needed break, I think. But let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, and if you like the video, guys, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.